Coming up in today's episode, what things can you be doing to start building a real relationship with your audience, with your prospects and your customers through the wonderful format that is video? You need to step into your customers' shoes. The products that we sell, the services that we provide should be all about the client and the customer. So why should your marketing be any different? Because obviously, having amazing content that's all built around the viewer, a byproduct of that is going to be that it's going to promote your business. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Grow Your Business with Video podcast, the show where you get to learn lots of tips and tricks on how to make more effective video content for your business. And it's been a little bit of a while, hasn't it? The last episode of this podcast went out in August 2020. Now we're all the way over in January 2021. But sticking with the whole theme of new year, new me, and turning over a new leaf and all of that, I thought I would get back into the swing of things and record another episode for you guys. My name's Alex Wardle. If you haven't been here before, I am your host. I am the head of production at Artifact Media, a video production company based in the northeast of England, but we create videos for people all over the country and indeed all over the world. Or at least we did before COVID and lockdown, but we'll not talk too much about that, shall we? So, if you are new to the show, or it's been a while since you listened to an episode, here's a quick reminder of what it's all about and hopefully how it's going to help you on your business and your marketing journey. This is all about giving you some tried and tested, real world, no woo-woo, no waffle, no jargon, tips and tricks on how to create more effective video content for your business. At Artifact Media, this is what we do all the time. We go to people's businesses, we find out as much information about them as we can, we really try and delve deep into their target audience and learn about their clients and their customers, and we nail down what kinds of content that they would want to see. We always put the viewer first. It's never actually about the business in question, because those types of promotional and self-indulgent videos, they are not completely pointless, but they are only going to bring you limited success in today's world of ever-connectedness and instant on-demand everything and endless content. You need to be a bit more savvy if you're going to try and connect with your audience more deeply and form actual relationships and connections with them, and in turn market your business effectively, because quite simply, no one cares really about what you do. It's all about them. It's all about the problems that they have, the things that they want, and so the video content that we design and that we publish is all geared around that. And so in this show, we share some of the real world, tried and tested, no woo, no waffle, no jargon, tips and tricks, the things that we've learned, the stories that we've accumulated over the years of helping people so that you can put them into practice in your business too. So with all of that being said, let's dive into this episode. Now, first of all, because it's been a few months since the last episode, some quick updates from me. Quite a lot has been happening in our world, in the Artifact Media world, despite 2020 and all its difficulties of lockdown and COVID and things changing all the time, all these challenges that all of us have had to face. I'm sure that you have had your own as well. Things have remained very busy. We've had a lot going on. Primarily, we made ourselves really busy because we decided to create a documentary about the lockdown, as you do. This was called Wreck the Lockdown, as in Record the Lockdown, and it ended up being a 5-part series, each episode being about 15 to 20 minutes long, that we published on social media and whatnot. We also got some local press about it. We were featured in the Northern Echo, and I did my first live radio interview on BBC Radio Newcastle, and hopefully tried to spread the word about some amazing business owners and entrepreneurs who we spoke to and interviewed on camera, and tried to delve into what they had learned during lockdown, some of the challenges that they faced, their advice to others and their hopes for the future. But more than anything else, the whole documentary was geared around positivity, trying to spread a little bit of positivity, help people feel a little bit better and a bit more optimistic about the future. And so that's what we tried to really underpin the whole 5-part video series with. And I'm delighted to say that we did do that, and everyone we spoke to had some brilliant stories to tell, very uplifting anecdotes and whatnot. So and it was wonderful. It was an excellent thing. I'm very proud of it. It's by no means perfect. I probably would have done things differently if I'd started it today, but such is the way with these things. But there's a whole podcast episode about Wreck the Lockdown. It's the previous episode to this one, where me and Naomi, who is my partner and production assistant at Artifact Media, we talk about it in a lot more detail. And so if you want to hear more about that, then go back one episode. Other things that we have been up to, thankfully, despite lockdown and, you know, the ebb and flow, the peaks and troughs of being in lockdown 1 minute and then having the door unlocked and being able to actually go into the outside world the next, we were able to film some brilliant projects for our clients in the past few months. Most notably, we went down to Suffolk and we filmed with Zoe Willingham, who is the owner of Best Behaviour Dog Training and also Dogversity, the online dog training platform. And we made, oh my God, so much content with her. We spent 3 days on the trot filming down in Suffolk in September. We were blessed with beautiful sunshine for most of it as well. And we were filming on a completely private, it was actually like a holiday cottage with lots of its own grounds. And so really we had a lot of freedom to move around, film in lots of different locations. And the types of content that we filmed varied from marketing content that was going to go out on social media to kind of help ultimately to promote Zoe's business. But again, coming back to what we said at the start, it was all geared around the viewer, as it always is, and also some online course content for her Dogversity platform as well. So I think in total we produced 30 videos or something like that, which was excellent. Similarly, we went down to Stratford-upon-Avon and we filmed with Jonathan, the dog photographer, who takes some absolutely beautiful pictures of pooches. And this is a kind of a new business venture of his. And so we put together some content to help tell his story there. And again, centered it all around the viewer. Jonathan has a social media expert who he works with as well, Christy. So we had a lot of conversations with her about what types of content would work best on social media. And the whole production was built around that. We have also decided to move house, which has been a long and arduous process. And as I record this podcast, we are literally moving this week, or hopefully are anyway. If you've moved house before, which I'm sure you have, then you'll know it's no mean feat, but we are getting there. I suppose, in a way, because there's less going on with lockdown and stuff, then it's a good time to be doing it. I don't know. We will see. We'll see if I change my mind about that. Anyway, let's get into the theme of this episode, which is about, really, I wanted this to be about starting 2021 in the right way, how you can gain some marketing momentum, seen as though it's now January, and, you know, as much as I think less people these days subscribe to the whole New Year, New Me thing, because it's kind of bullshit, isn't it? You know, New Year's resolutions and stuff. It's just another day. As my good friend Simon Hartley put it the other day, you know, the birds and the foxes and the owls and stuff, they don't know that it's New Year. It's just another day, and it's just kind of an arbitrary date, really. But it's still kind of symbolic, isn't it? At least to some degree for us. And really, that coupled with the fact that, you know, we have come off the back of a really terrible year of 2020 in many respects, and things are still continuing to ebb and flow. The future is still largely uncertain. There's talks of more lockdowns and local lockdowns and restrictions and stuff. All this type of thing is still continuing. But at the same time, because it is the new year, now is the perfect time in many respects to make a fresh start and to gain some momentum. I know that's how I feel personally. I kind of took the Christmas break to take some downtime and to take some time to really think and try and get into a bit of a creative headspace with how I wanted to market the business this year, the different activities that I wanted to be doing, personal goals and projects and whatnot. And because I allowed myself the time to do that, because these things do take time. You can't do it if you're in a rush or you're distracted by lots of other things. I was able to define some very specific goals that I want to achieve in the next 90 days, working in kind of 90-day sprints, which I know a lot of people do. And it seems like the perfect time to do it because, it's the start of January. It's a fresh start. We can kind of forget about everything we did in 2020, sort of anyway, and hit the ground running. So what things can you be doing to start building a real relationship with your audience, with your prospects and your customers through the wonderful format that is video? Because as I say, now is the perfect time to be doing so. Aside from anything else, 2020 has taught us that it's more important to be connected with your audience than ever before, because a lot of us can't go out and see them in person as we once did, at least not as easily or as often. So it's absolutely imperative that you maintain, that you establish and you build and you maintain a relationship, a real relationship, with each and every one of your customers, via the powers of online and digital and video. It's wonderful that these things are available to us. But as I said at the start, the problem is there's so much content out there that your viewers and your audience are, for a lot of the time, completely overwhelmed with stuff. They're being bombarded with information and messages and marketing and people trying to vie for their attention. What's going to help yours to stand out? What's going to get your message actually heard? How do you cut through the noise? That's what this is all about. So I'm a big believer in fundamentals. Fundamental principles underpin pretty much everything in this world and in life. And this is no different. So if we're thinking about how to better connect with our customers and our clients and our prospects, one of the fundamentals of that is you need to step into your customers' shoes. And you really need to get inside their heads and try and get into their headspace and think about what types of content they would really like to see. So rather than thinking about your video content and indeed all of your marketing content from your perspective, you're going to be thinking of it like, well, how do I promote my business? What kinds of videos can I make that are going to attract more inquiries, so I can get more clients and so I can make more money? That's your ultimate goal, isn't it, deep down? And that's fine. That's what we're trying to do. That's why we're in business, after all. But if that is your sole fundamental, if that's the only sort of lens through which you're seeing everything and conducting your marketing activities, you're only going to get so far, because, as I said, people don't care about you. They care about themselves. We're all selfish. That's just how we are. That's absolutely fine. And so the fundamental that I would encourage you to kind of to switch onto and to kind of flick over into this different way of thinking is, well, what does my customer want to see? What is going to actually help them? What would put a spring in their step? What would give them something really useful today that makes them think, do you know what? That was great. I'm really glad that person shared that information with me, or suggested that I do that, or told that story, because this is a much more effective way of marketing your business. In a way, you could say that advertising your business is actually secondary to providing stuff of genuine value to your audience. Your primary objective shouldn't be, I want to attract more customers and clients and whatnot. Your primary goal should be, I want to put out some absolutely amazing content that people are going to love. Because if you start to think in that respect, then your content's going to be so much more effective, because you're actually putting someone else first rather than putting you and your needs and your objectives first. You're thinking about the customer, and really that's what we should be doing with our actual business activities, shouldn't we? The products that we sell, the services that we provide should be all about the client and the customer. We want to provide as good a service as we possibly can for them, so that they continue to be clients for a long time in the future, and they have no objections to referring us to their friends, their family, their colleagues and whatnot. So why should your marketing be any different? Because obviously having amazing content that's all built around the viewer, a byproduct of that is going to be that it's going to promote your business. But I think the problem is that a lot of people get stuck in this kind of tunnel vision of, oh my God, I really need more sales. I really need more clients. So I I'm going to promote my own business. I need a promotional video. And promotional videos just don't work 90% of the time. So I would very much encourage you to get out of that way of thinking. So here's some examples, because I know this is difficult for a lot of people, especially if you're new to it, or if you've kind of fallen off the horse and you're out of the momentum of creating content. This is a difficult thing to do. As I say, similar to me working on my goals last month, this takes time. Creativity takes time. It takes like a clear head. And so it's quite a difficult thing to get into. So here's some examples of things that you could be doing along these lines. You could do a very simple video that's no more than 10 minutes long. 10 minutes these days is considered long form. It's kind of ideal for platforms like YouTube, which are all about video, rather than something like Facebook or Instagram, which is an amalgamation of lots of different media. But you could create a video that's like 5 or 10 minutes long, and all you're doing, the whole idea is like, don't overthink this, because I know a lot of people do. You check in with people, you let them know what you're up to today or this week, what projects have you got on the go, who are you helping, what clients are you meeting up with or delivering your amazing service to. You could share some very quick and easy tips about something in your industry. You could even just tell a story, whether that is something that has directly happened to you in your industry. So, I worked with this client last week and we did XYZ. Or it could be something even like, I saw this article in the news this morning about this new species that has been discovered in the ocean, and it really reminded me of XYZ. And then you obviously tie it into the thing that you actually do, what business you're in, what industry you're in. Really, the sky's the limit here, and there's no limitations to what you could do a simple video like this about, what the subject matter of this could be about. Because the fundamental here, another fundamental, is that really it's very conversational, and it's very much kind of storytelling focused. And again, it's not promotional. It's not about you and your business. It's about you establishing a real relationship with the person who's on the other end, with the person who's watching. And what you're doing is you're getting them to know, like, and trust you. You're sharing a little bit of information about yourself, letting them get to know who you are, what you're all about, what kinds of things you do, who you help, how you help them, and allowing them to trust you in the sense that you could possibly help them as well. So if you give away, as I say, some very basic information, some tips and tricks, a little anecdote that's going to help them along their way, or even just something that's entertaining, something that makes them laugh or smile, then you're kind of moving that needle on their trust of you up just a little bit. And that's another key thing as well with this, is that this requires a long game approach. This is not something that's going to be done overnight. And I think that's another conundrum, another corner that people back themselves into with not just video, but with all of marketing. They think, well, if I pay someone like Alex to come down to my business for a day with all of his fancy cameras and equipment and lighting and stuff, and make a absolutely beautiful, fantastic video for me, then all my hopes and dreams will come true and I'll get floods of clients coming through the door. Well, unfortunately, that's not really the case. I mean, it can happen sometimes if you manage to go viral or something, who knows? But really, this is about long-term relationship building, putting out consistent, high-quality content that shows your audience that you're a real person, that you actually care, that you're willing to help people, and just allows them to get to know you. Because as I say, there's so much content out there these days that this is what is required, okay? So that's one example of a video you could do. You could pre-record this if you want. If you're feeling brave, you could do it live as well. In many respects, doing a video like this live is actually a lot easier because there's no second chances, so you can't mess it up. Or if you do mess it up, you've just got to continue anyway. But it also, the good thing about live videos is that it gives people a chance to check in with you in real time, obviously, and ask any questions about the thing that you are an expert in. So you can use this as a really good opportunity to actually directly connect with your audience and open up that line of dialogue with them in real time. People get a very deep sense of involvement with a live video, even just This happens to me all the time. I'll tune into a live video on Facebook. And if someone says like, oh, Alex has joined in. Hey, Alex, morning. How's it going? It's like, oh, wow, I've been mentioned on air. It's amazing. So you could consider doing something like that. I'll give an example of this. Let's think about a dog walker. I work with a lot of people in the pet industry, so this seems like a good example. So let's say you're a dog walker or a dog trainer or something, and you just want to make this simple 10-minute video to check in with people. You could quite easily, quite literally, and my good friend and client Dom Hodgson does this, I think, pretty much every day. He takes the dogs out for a walk on a morning, so like before 9 o'clock, cracker sparrows. Most people haven't even got up and got ready yet, especially not these days. They're still in the pajamas. And he'll go live from the field that's like opposite the beach near where he lives in Sunderland, which looks beautiful on a sunny day and not so great on a grey day. And he'll be like, morning, everyone. Dom here. I'm out with the dogs. Here's the dogs, taking a few minutes to kind of let the live stream reach people so that people get notifications about it, let them tune in so they don't miss any of the kind of the bulk of the info that he's going to be sharing, and he'll do a quick pan around of like where he is and what's going on, and then he'll just go straight into it, and he'll be like, so I saw this this news article this morning about Boris announcing that there's going to be another lockdown. Here's something that I learned in the last lockdown about how you can keep your dog engaged and not bored and happy whilst you can't take him out for as many walks. Something like that. And really the key here is like not to go too much into it, because this is a free, quick and easy video, live or pre-recorded, that only a certain percentage of your audience are going to see anyway, and you don't want to give away the farm, as they say. Obviously, you want to save your really good stuff for if you've got an online course or whether you're working one-to-one with clients. Obviously, you don't want to be giving away all of your unique secrets and stuff like that. This is something very, very basic, but always you need to look through this lens of, is this going to be useful for the person watching on the other end? Are they actually going to get something out of this that's going to be useful, entertaining, engaging? Is it something that they're going to think after they've watched it, that was great. Do you know what? I'll share that with my spouse or my friend down the road who's also got a dog. Or is it going to compel them to take some kind of action? Is it going to help them to think, do you know what? This Dom guy is really cool. I'm going to check out his website and see what he's all about. Or like, do you know what? That really made me laugh. This Dom bloke is brilliant at telling stories and jokes. I'm sure he's got loads more content like this. I'll click through to his page and see what else is on there as well. And hopefully that kind of illustrates to you the sort of frame of mind that you need to be in, and the way that you need to be thinking about how your content is going to be perceived by your viewer. It's much more long-term, like medium to long-term of an approach, because you're thinking about what are they going to do next? How is this going to help them to feel about me? Is it going to help them trust me? Are they going to actually be able to take some useful knowledge away from this and put it into action? Am I going to help them to fix a specific problem, even if it's just in a very small way? You can make someone's day by just giving them a little bit of info on how best to do something, or a little bit of an anecdote onto how you overcame a particular problem, even if it's just on a very simple level. That can put the spring in someone's step for that day. And honestly, hopefully you agree, this can work wonders for your marketing. It's just about being a genuinely helpful person, someone who wants to help out other people. Like I say, we're all selfish. We're in business so that we can make money and so that we can sustain a living and all of this stuff. That's fine as well. But at the core of it, you actually need to be a good person who wants to help other people. That's the crux of it, really. So if you're not, you need to work on that. But there we go. I think that should about do it for today. So have a think about the next video that you go to create, or perhaps you've just made one and you want to kind of critique it yourself a little bit. Does it pass through this filter? Does your content tick the boxes of being authentic? Is it like ethical? Is one way of putting it. Is it actually useful to people? Is it not just self-indulgent marketing material? Because if it is, then it's an effective way of marketing your business. And you may not see immediate results. You may only get a few people tuning in. You might not get any comments at first. All of these kind of dopamine hits that we crave so much and that validate our activities and our efforts. But again, this is a longer term approach. Imagine where you could be if you did something like this every day for a year, or 6 months, or 6 weeks even. If you were consistent with your communication with your audience to such an extent that they look forward to seeing your posts and they miss you when you're not there, when you don't create that video or send that email or whatever, and people are like, oh, where's the content from Jane today? That's where we want to be. We want to be seen as this person who's out to do good, so long as you genuinely are, of course. And you'll notice as well that I haven't talked about any of the technical stuff in this episode. I haven't talked about how to film this, or what camera you should be using, or what microphone or anything, because all of that is secondary to the content itself as well. And this surprises a lot of people when I don't talk about the techie stuff, because they assume that with me being a camera guy and being a self-professed nerd, that this is the stuff that I feel really passionate about and want to share with you guys. And it absolutely is. I watch loads of camera videos and camera reviews. But when it comes to your content and the content that we create for our clients as well, that's all secondary. The primary thing is the content itself and what we're actually communicating with our audience. So we can save the technicalities for another time. So anyway, I hope that's helped you today. I hope that you can approach the next video you make with a slightly different lens through which you're looking at how to create the content itself. And if you did find it useful, then please do subscribe to the show, because again, new year, new me and all that. I want to put out more episodes of this podcast because I genuinely want to help people to create more effective video content as well. Because I'm sick of seeing rubbish content. It's as simple as that. And I'm being facetious, but genuinely, there's that many businesses and people running their own businesses and people who are like marketing managers for big companies that I see, who I know could be putting out amazing stuff and who could be like leaders in their field and whose audiences could be continuously delighted with the content that they put out. But unfortunately, they don't approach it in this way. They are too selfish, and perhaps it comes from a place of fear, more than actual selfishness, and they're worried about sales and clients and customers and stuff, so they don't give themselves the opportunity to actually create content that ticks all of the boxes that we've talked about in this episode, and I think that's such a shame, and I would love to see more people jumping on the bandwagon and really reaping the benefits of effective video, which is what this show is all about. So that seems like a perfect place to end. So do subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts if you want to hear more. Next week, I'm going to share with you the entire Artifact Media production process. This is our not patented, 8-stage production process that we go through with every single production from start to finish, from the initial plans to the actual publication of the video of itself and beyond. I'm going to share that with you so that hopefully you can learn from it as well and maybe adopt a similar approach for your content and thus create more effective videos. Thanks very much for tuning in. Subscribe to the show if you enjoyed it. Pass it on to a friend. Leave a comment, ask a question, anything you like. And I will see you in the next episode.